Nkuhuma cubs are just playing in the window. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted by a vulture that's coming in. I thought it wasn't a vulture for a second. I thought it was a gymnogene, but it is indeed a vulture. And that's why that lioness has got up. She's seen them circling now. And she's not going to tolerate them eating at the kill. It is so sweet. And the male fast asleep, of course. His big fat belly. The mating pair, or the potentially mating pair, are off to the left-hand side. That's quite a fat belly there, Brian. It's an immense belly. And he's looking up now because of the vultures now starting to circle. Listen to the little ones having a fight. So then I think you're going to struggle to hear the cubs. As soon as we turn the microphone up, everybody, you're going to hear roaring wind. I'll just have to tell you that the cubs are making those beautiful little growling sounds that they make at each other, and they're already not that soft. Some of them are quite loud noises, and they get quite irritated with each other. Oh, look at that picture you've got there. Isn't that sweet? Hello, Mobile Paddy. You're wondering if there are any other male coalitions. Remember, we don't refer to the male groups as prides, there's coalitions. Oh, it's my favourite when they come and they play with the males. Mobile Paddy, you want to know if there are any male coalitions in the area that might be about to challenge or coming of age and able to challenge the Birmingham boys? Not that I know of, Mobile Paddy. There were those, what were they called, Brian? Those young males. It wasn't the Sticks. It was not the Tsalala, that funny group, the Shimungwe Pride. Shimungwe's had 3 males, and they were around here. They were around for a little while, and we thought maybe they might be sort of a challenge, but I suspect they've moved off. So no, nothing around here at the moment, and you don't really want it to be. You know, what you want is new blood. So eventually, when the challenge does come, what you want is for it to come from, say, the Kruger, from another area completely. There's also some dispute as to whether these are actually the Birmingham boys at all. That dispute is being created by Gerry Camacho, who reckons that these are not the Birmingham cubs that everyone thinks they were. It would not surprise me one tiny little bit to find that they weren't who we thought they were. It's almost impossible to keep track of male lions from the time they're born to the time they take over a territory, and I've watched countless lion documentaries where supposedly the male lions who take over an area are a specific set of cubs that have been watched, and it's patently obvious that that just isn't the case. And Sandra, you're wondering why they called the Birmingham. Ooh, the 2 lionesses are just having a little bit of a fight at the carcass there, despite the fact that they can barely eat because they're so full. Sandra, they call the Birmingham boys because they come from a farm called Birmingham, and that farm called Birmingham is in the Timbavati, which is not too far from here. But in the Timbavati, they were born apparently to a litter, part of what's known as the Birmingham Pride. And Herbert actually spent quite a lot of time there. And he actually, if these are the cubs that everyone thinks they are, then Herbert knew them as tiny little babies when they were born there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think our very own Hayden Turner coined the term the Birmingham Boys, didn't he, Brian?
I think so.
I think he did. The Birmingham Boys, of course, were a nasty gang that operated in Birmingham in the United Kingdom, and so it was quite an appropriate name for these gangsters. And Michael, you're wondering that if these females, the new females here, if they grow to adulthood and independence within this pride, is there a chance that they could mate with their father? Yeah, absolutely. Happens a lot. Happens very often. And as you say, they're not very old at the moment. They're probably maybe 5, maybe 5.5, these boys. And so for them, I mean, conceivably 2.5 years from now, when these young cubs are ready to have their first litters, they could easily still be in power, the Birminghams. So it is entirely possible. Indeed, it is likely. Is it bad? No. Were it to happen again the next generation after that, would there be a problem? Yes, quite possibly. Happens all the time with lions, and quite possibly with leopards too. Oh, there's a lovely smell now coming out of the southeast, isn't there, Brian? Rotting buffalo just before breakfast. Enough to drive a man salivating with hunger. I don't